But nature stripped. He's a force of nature today. Can he do it? Chautauqua, he's flying. Yeah!
But Kevin Tari hit the front deliberately.
But this is a blitz. It's a weak blitz.
Have a go, you mug.
All right, mugs. Here we are. We're back, making Queensland racing great again. We can only do that when it's the three of us. We've got him back, Lloydy. How good.
Return, mate.
He returned. And look, just for those playing at home, there's no Sky Racing in the background. Lloydy, I think you were a bit distracted last week, weren't you? We were at Dolby?
Gatton, I think.
Gatton. Does it really matter?
One of the premier Queensland racing
But,
tracks.
you know,
we're back in winners, who cares?
hey, well, they say you don't know what you got until it's gone, and that was the case last week. So, Bean, welcome back. How's it
Thank you.
going? I'm sure you tucked into the races last week just as much,
Yep.
and
Yeah, it was a good weekend actually on the punt. I didn't obviously miss the podcast. Second daughter arrived last week, so that's exciting news. So I don't think she's going to be a jockey, by the way. She's a bit too tall for that already, I think. So anyway, that's a bit of a shame. I have to wait for one of you, but get a jockey in the family.
Yeah,
but, yeah, huge weekend. Private Eye in the Epsom.
wasn't that just a missed one from our end? Like
Queensland form.
Yep. To the forte. We were happy to brag about it after, but well, you and that's why we missed you on the show, mate. You had it. You backed it. You were on it.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
With your two selections though, I got you were on a tissue, I think, and Lloydy had Aramayo, but got the Quinella. That paid. That was pretty handsome. So there's a few decent winners.
No
there.
$5 on the Quinella on the side though, did we?
No, we probably should start doing that with a few of those. I think
That's
that was
true.
what I did because I saw the odds of them all and I was like, if two of these lob and go bang bang, this Quinella could pay absolutely anything because all the money was on. There's a couple of the other hot points that just sort of didn't fire a shot at all. And then when Dallasan shot to the lead at one point, I thought, oh dear Lord. I mean, if you're an owner, you would have wanted to get home clearly, but I was like, if that thing wins, I'm going to chop my own leg off.
Hasn't Nick, you're a big Dallasan fan, we all know, but it's just been around forever, and it's a 4-year-old, 5-year-old, if that. But
5 now.
it's been a
Never
roll between drinks.
I think I read he's running 13 Group 1 races. Don't quote me on it, but I think that's what I read.
Still legit never runs poorly though. It's always sort of thereabouts.
Well, now he's been third in a Doncaster, third in an Epsom, third in a Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah,
second in a Derby.
They're chasing that elusive Group 1.
Yeah.
I think he's still got his gonads between his legs. So
it's probably not a bad
if they get that
horse.
Well,
then he could be worth anything at stud, right? Like he'd just be.
Yes, he's still got his balls.
Yeah,
anyway, it was a big weekend.
McKinnon could be an option because there was a horse, of course, last week who just pretty much stamped himself as the superstar of the spring. Incentivize does it again.
Yeah, he is the new.
It was it was
Zaaki. To be fair, they're on the podium together.
Well, we might get the clash. We might not get the clash. I mean,
Peter Moody on that show they do. He sort of said, what did he say yesterday? He said, I wouldn't be taking Incentivize in any futures markets for the Cox Plate.
Right.
He's not ruled it out, but he did say he wouldn't be taking any.
So
he said, let's worry about the Caulfield Cup. And then
they've made it.
I reckon they're
super clear that the Caulfield Cup's a target.
Yeah, they're going to go Caulfield Cup, Melbourne Cup.
The thing is, if it was
see them going to Cox, to be
Caulfield Cup, if the weights and they just decided, look, it's probably he's just not going to get 3,200 or he's weighted out. Cox Plate's not a bad little backup though.
Yeah,
I think he won here on the 7-day backup as well. Went from that Ipswich race to the Group 3 7 days later. Admittedly, he'd be dropping back in trip, but indoor weight for age. And if he has if he wins the Caulfield Cup like he won some of those races up this way, where he was in a canter,
sky's the limit.
You're not going to be sort of having that much of a gut buster, really. And
very elegant. Just
what do we reckon?
Didn't have like
but she hasn't even they haven't even paid up the next round. So there's no very elegant. There's no Sir Dragonet
for the Caulfield
Cup.
Yeah, Cox Plate targets.
He's going to end up with top weight with 57. They'll all go up 1.5 kilos.
Well, and then
nothing with any class.
And his biggest competition looks to be Young Werther and Chapada, which
just
write your own ticket.
Yeah,
I mean,
pulling away from it at the end.
Pulling away, ease down.
Preble
said,
those two he said he started to pick up again with 50 to go, and I was like,
like,
well, we could get to 2,400 then. I don't think they're going to catch you.
And he looks a bit like Very Elegant a couple of weeks before. He looks the horse that just sort of does what he needs to do, has a bit of fun with his mates, and goes.
He's not doing the
I'm done now.
Zaaki. He's not doing the Zaaki back jobs.
But he can.
But he can.
That's the thing. He can. So I think he's versatile enough to show that he's got the fight. That if it's pressure's on, he can handle it, or he can just go, I'm done. 10 lengths. See you later.
Yeah, it was pretty scary.
And well, Australia's mare VE. What did you think of her performance?
She had the ride was spastic, to be honest.
Yeah,
I'm going to put it out there.
Forward.
I don't know why they were never going to beat. Well, they could have beaten Incentivize, but they were never going to beat him by sitting one out, one back, and playing the stalking role. They needed to, like, they obviously didn't want to let him get too far ahead, but they just cooked her chances by trying to have her up on the speed, and they went quick. Like Mount Poplar gave no.
And that's a
You know,
the booming sprints.
If he had just taken a sit on her and sort of let them roll, she probably could have let down, but I don't think she would have beaten him anyway.
I don't think the ride was that bad. I thought she needed to be where she was in the run to have half a chance at that track. Like, it's not like Randwick where you can sort of sit back and you've got time to run on. I think you need to be thereabouts at
But I think
because they just don't round them up.
He tried to keep Sir Dragonet 3 wide, and you know, like I think
tactics.
Like I think on paper before they race, that's what I think I said on the podcast too. I said I think we can expect to see her settle closer to sort of be within striking distance, but when they jumped and Mount Popper was up there with Incentivize, Sir Dragonet was 3 wide, she was 1 out, 1 back. I think
they were all sort of hunting the lead.
I think he just sort of played too
Yeah.
tactically to try and keep one of his main dangers out of the track in Sir Dragonet. That, you know, while she was doing that to him, Incentivize just gets away.
And it probably set it up really even better for Chapada and Youngworther, who were pretty impressive. But like, you know, they were hammering out in front. With them though, it's their
flashing light run in the last 2 years. You know, that's the thing with those two horses.
Youngworther though, that was almost identical to Vanderclair in his Melbourne Cup campaign.
He's always had the Spruik Youngworther.
And it'll be the same prep. It'll be Turnbull, Caulfield Cup, Melbourne Cup. But
it could be a Melbourne Cup sneaky and low weights. He's doesn't go a yard over under 2,000 plus, so we never know. And we're back to the headquarters last week, back to Doomben. We've been we're talking about the good horses. I've forgotten how many winners we had, but we had a few. There's a few in there. I know I did.
Who'd you have?
That's all right.
Contemptuous got up.
Contemptuous got up. That was best of the days everywhere.
Yeah.
Race 1, I think there was one at some odds Heroic Sun. That was the one. That was a good win. Too many to name, mate, but it's just what we do.
I think we tipped the card.
It's spring carnival time. Don't
check back in the last week's episode.
But
anyway.
You're only as good as your next set of tips. People say you're as good as your last tips. No. Yep. This is where we shine. We build up the hype. That's what we do. Queensland Racing, we are your go-to podcast, YouTube show. Yep. You name it, we do it. We do it all. We're back at Eagle Farm, mate.
Yep, yeah.
So, interesting little stat here, boys. Let me check the rail, but it doesn't matter what that is while that loads. 5 out of the next 6 meets on the Saturday are at Eagle Farm. So 1.5, you reckon, Encyclopedia?
Yep.
So we're probably pushing 3 meters every single week. So come 6 weeks, this rail could be out 44 meters.
Yeah, I think
we'll be running on Nudgy Road.
We could be.
I think they're there on Melbourne Cup Day as well.
Melbourne Cup Day. Well, that's 6 out of 7. So the Wednesdays are getting the Doomben meeting. And I think I think the BRC, they want to get the people in. Last year, this time we're coming out of lockdowns. Do they want to get the people in though? Well, you can fit 3 times as many people at Eagle Farm. So I think that's the MO of the programming, so to speak. So watch the space for the next couple of weeks, Mugs, as we pour our rip out my hair out.
To be fair, they did race a lot over the winter carnival at Eagle Farm, obviously, and we actually went half alright towards the end of the carnival. Like, Tats Tiara, I think we had a fill up.
Because it took us 5 weeks to figure out what was going on.
That's what I'm saying. I was saying, don't give up on us early.
That's right.
Stick around, because
probably don't follow us in this week.
Come the end of November, I'm sure we'll get a couple of winners.
Yes, so when we send the emails out in 3 weeks, click on the links to take notice. But we'll get stuck in, lads. 1.5 out, as Nick said. Good 4, probably that good 3. There's no rain about. Last week it was a little bit touch and go with the weather, but look to have held off. We've got Class 3 to set us off. Set weights. So there's not a lot of these sort of races around with the set weights. It's just handicap season that we just absolutely love. But you've got a couple there at the top of the market, Light and Zingalong, who have been there, done it. They've raced in some decent company, previous preps. Zingalong was Australia's favourite maiden for a long time there, and never runs a bad race. But you go down the list, you got the big dogs. Golan, he's in town. He's got a couple. Pull Anchor's one that we know can do no wrong. So, Bean, race 1, get us off to a flyer, and then I want to hear a bit of passion from you after.
I'm with Zingalong, actually. It's a pretty competitive race to start the day. 2 sharp trials that's come through. It's won first up in the past. The query is probably the track. I don't think it's had a start at Eagle Farm.
I think a lot of these ones have, actually.
Yeah, so that's a bit of a problem. But the form around last prep, I mean, it was running seconds and you can go through the form as seconds and thirds all over the place. Most of them were Simply Fly, who was simply flying last prep. So. Look, I'm happy to be with Barrier 9. It'll be on the pace, which I think is probably going to be the place to be, because even though Eagle Farm's got that big 435 metre straight, you'd be surprised how hard it is to get past the leaders.
Yeah.
It can be one of those tracks.
It's just a longer Moonah Valley straight, really.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting, really. But I'm happy to be with $4.20. It's not I'm not getting any $8-9, but I think it's on top for me.
I'm keeping it simple. Race 1, horse 1. I like. I think one of the better bets on the program. I've had a fair opinion of the horse. He's won 3 of his 5 starts, so sort of no champion of me to find it. You know, it's one as a $1.28 favourite at Kilcoy, $1.70 favourite last time at the Sunny Coast. But it was a good first up.
Units,
win.
baby.
Well, that's right. It's just bank interest, really, isn't it? And we're getting $4 today. So basically, launch. But yeah, I think barrier 4. He'll lead under Jimmy Orman, and I think it'll be too quick for him. And again, Eagle Farm's the query, but he loves the Sunny Coast, that big straight there at the coast. He's led there and won both times that he's won there now. He's 2 from 3 at the track, so I think he'll like Eagle Farm.
Yeah, look, I'm siding with the newcomer here, mate. Zing along, so it could be a good Quinella play in the first, but we just know what we're going to get, don't we, Bean? You know?
Yep.
And that Sunny Coast point, is that the same for Zing along? Yep. Love those long straights. So 2 favourites in race 1. We've fucking done it right there, boys, haven't we?
The value is absolutely everywhere.
We might need
much better.
We're running hot, mate. So we might need some water here to cool us down, Nick. Can you think of any way that we could get it?
We go for a dip.
Where are we going to go for a dip? We're going to the sea.
Man,
I'm talking wop, wop, wop. That's some wet ass.
See,
let's fire him up early, Mugs. You got to.
Yes, Mugs. We're back for Beans in the Sea. It's a big week this week. There's a we've been trying to do the in the sea for the runners that are sort of coming up that weekend, so we can completely pot one. And when I eventually get it wrong, then I'll probably get tossed to the sea, I think. But mate, race 8, the Queensland Cup, Lunar Snit.
Oh, geez.
That thing is gone. It is so. I mean, for the owners, it's probably a money banker, because I think these are its last 8 or so starts. 4th, 3rd, 3 seconds in a row, 2 7s and a 4th. If that's not the definition of disappointment, I don't know what is when it comes to horse racing. I mean, its average odds are $11.80, are sort of fairly reasonable, but it's had 29 starts for 3 wins. I reckon Nick's tipped it 3 or 4 times.
Throwing 28 of those 29 almost.
I've had a crack a couple of times, and it's always that's been bobbed out again.
It was really my favourite horse when it nearly beat top order that day. It was 31s in the 8s and got done on the post.
Yeah. And then it started at like $1.60 or something midweek.
$3 got beat by Galaxy Bell at 3s, and then it came out and was $1.50.
$1.50 at Eagle Farm. There we go.
It's dead set. Right. It is just. It's an absolute disappointment. It's $8 in the Queensland Cup against Navy Cross and Honourable Spirit. Yeah. Like that is
well in the
Cup. Mate,
I'm not sorry. I'm not making a case.
What race is that?
Race 8 at Eagle Farm.
Cross out Lunar.
So yeah, you better change that. So yeah, mate, it's in the sea. It's just it's gone.
Go.
Yeah, look, happy to agree with you, Bean. You're not wrong very often, are you?
No.
Sir Barnabas has found land.
Well, on Mecca Race Day.
Mate, they found.
Yeah.
But to be fair, Mecca Race Day is not a race day that counts.
Yeah, no one has a bet on it.
I don't even think they keep the results on the Racing Queensland website.
I couldn't believe that when it came out. It stormed down. I was like,
one well.
I was like, oh God, you're kidding me, aren't you?
All right, look, thanks, mate. It's great to have your return segment there. The fans
happy to be back.
Phone's been running hot all week. Well, look, we're going to need the astute hats back on, because race 2, we're coming in a 2-year-old racing. So a lot of these horses, they're starting to be ready for potentially some Magic Millions spoils. And one that's tried the house down, O'Day Hoisted, don't get it wrong too much, Palazzo Spirit. Probably been the trial superstar so far of the 2-year-olds that we've seen. So if you love trials that the horses just win by 5 lengths and keep going, aka nature strip trials, this horse will absolutely wet your lips. How wet are your lips there, Lloydy?
Yeah, pretty wet.
Oh, love it.
After the quick swim in the sea, and we're
drenched,
after some trial extraordinaire. She's bred well too. Spirit of Boom out of that good mare Palazzo Publica. I think Jerry Harvey might have owned her. Back in the day. So her trials have been really good. Like you said, last trial on the 28th of September, won by 3 lengths and beat Heroic Sun, who won the 2-year-old race at Doomben last weekend. So the form's already stacking up. Her times have been good. Yep, I think she wins under Big Bad Bustle and Bailey.
Yep, I'm on board too, Bean. Scratch from last week to from the wide gate, so there's obviously intent there to get some cash on the board.
I'm on the second favourite in Golden Artie. There's not too many reasons here really. I stuck with the inside draw and the best jockey in the race. I think that's Ryan Maloney at this particular point in time. So barrier 4 for the B&D Galliard. I think it goes pretty close as well. So,
jeez, you better not let your mate Jaden Lloyd hear that statement.
I don't think he's got it right, but I'd be more worried about Wigo.
Oh yeah, how are the mates? You've got too many bloody mates. Too many jockeys.
Right.
You're all just great blokes. Yep. Big Shezza. Well, Mashani Mental's the only one that, Shezza's on. Might have to get a bit of a push for him. Yeah. Mashani Warfare too, sorry. Yeah. So they're both coming through that Toowoomba race. So,
which I don't really think is...
Well, the Les Ross plate really, wasn't it? So,
even though I didn't win.
G'day Les, if you're listening. Yep. Yeah, the only horse that didn't win was my one. Let's move on. Well, mate, top jocks. If the boys weren't hard enough there in race 2. Race 3, we've got the Phillies version. Set weights and penalties. Don't know how you can set weights for horses that haven't run a race before, but anyway. Yep. She'll look for the Fogden Yard. Aquas colours. Showed a bit of early speed in that trial. So, Bean, barrier 2, potentially could be the leader for your man Ryan Maloney. Is the recipe of success in race 2 carry to race 3?
It certainly does. Copy paste. Same jock. Drawn in barrier 2 again. I just think
save your breath. I'll just re-edit the post and copy and paste it.
Leads, wins.
There you go.
I think you just have to lead in these races. Do you think not many the 2-year-olds like run on really? Like you might get the odd one that's just like
that thing of Will's the other day was a good win.
Yeah, that was actually a good win. But in general, most of them just round the corner and off they go. Like the front 3 go 1, 2, 3.
And I think it's you're right that if they haven't learned sort of how to go in between, or the confidence isn't there, it's probably the right words to go through horses yet. It's a big thing too. So often you're right. I reckon 2-year-old racing, if you got early speed, pretty much you're going to be competitive. Yeah. Otherwise, you get a horse like an Artorias, which we'll talk about later in the show, that just will keep running on and won a blue diamond. We can really do too much else.
We can discuss that.
That's right. We'll get there. Lloydy.
I'm with a bit of girl power here. Number 4, Racing Page. Helen Page trains, and Steph Thornton does the steering. She's her trials with the Gold Coast have been good. She's had the 2 trials, won them both by 3 lengths. And out of a mare called Feel and Fly, I think ran 4th in a Gold Coast Guineas back about 10 or 15 years ago. But the same dam of Eurobell, who Gillian Heinrich trains, it goes pretty handy. So, bred well again, and 2 winning trials. I think she's going to be forward enough to be competitive, and 550, 210 the place. You get an each way odds.
Mate, you're a bit of a breeding connoisseur this week. This is good.
Mate,
another string to the bow.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I might have to try the same. I'm just open the book. Yeah, I'm just copying Beans. Barrier 2.
I don't like to overthink it.
That's what I'm going for. I'm with She'll Look on top there as well. Picked it out of the trials as well to be a bit of a, just early speed, as we talked about already. Just keep throwing that word out there, it makes it sound smart. But it was challenged in the trial and just sort of stuck with, so it could be a little bit of fight in the horse there too. So $4 to find out on unraced 2-year-olds. You'll be okay.
Can't wait for betting those 2 races.
Exactly. In the car. All right, we'll move south. Sydney. All right, they're still in lockdown, but apparently they're coming out of lockdown soon, I believe. So Everest
Yeah,
Carnival
when is
coming up.
Freedom Day? I saw it on the news this morning.
I think it might be over the weekend or early next week. But anyway, well, Everest next weekend. So perfect timing for the fans down there in Sydney, the mugs down there in Sydney. Get to the track and cheer along the biggest race in the world, let alone New South Wales. But we've got 2 Group 1s in Sydney, and the first one that we'll look at...
No, 1 Group 1, mate.
All right, I'm just getting you hyped up. But
it's... so excited. There's Group 1s everywhere.
There is Group 1s everywhere, mate. Yeah, you've just forgotten about one. But we've got the Spring Championship champions. What do you say?
Spring Champion
Stakes.
Yes.
Moet Chandon. See, it's too fancy for my lingo to pronounce.
Yeah. It's not the Bundy Run. The Bundy Run.
It isn't, mate.
Queensland Stakes.
Yeah.
That's it. Well, I'm not going to hand it to Lloydy first because he's got to learn how to pronounce the words first before we do get there. Yeah. But Profondo's been the rap horse since day one. I know someone on the panel in particular is quite a Profondo fan. He got to the race. That's all we were all worried about. $3.50, the favourite, 2,000 metres. Again, these younger horses being. Do they want the trip, or is it a find out, or have you found one that you know is going to lap it up?
No, I'm with Profondo, to be honest. I thought it found enough trouble. Like, found more trouble than between the three of you. No. The 3 of us could find on a night out after about 400 runs last run and got knocked off by Head of State. I think completely forget that run. It's an absolute forgive. It was pretty good first up. Barrier 10, I think, is probably about where you want him drawn. I mean, you could have him maybe a few in. Like you would. I don't want him on the rail really. No. I think he wants a bit of galloping room. But good for surface. Yeah, I think he's close to a certainty.
Oh, that's a bit of a moz, isn't it?
Just about, yeah. But yeah, obviously they paid 1.9 million for him, so
they want the investment.
They're hoping that they can get 3/4 of it back here. But it's a pretty average Group 1 field, obviously.
That's the other thing.
I think it's
we
one
got
of those
some maidens
races,
in there.
Yeah,
put it that way.
It's one of the races that probably one of the Group 1s that probably should be dropped from a Group 1 status to Group 2. You know, but you've had some good horses win it over the years, and I think Profondo has exactly what it takes to win it. His maiden win was good on debut, and then last start, like Bean said, he ran sideways with 150 to go when Head of State came up outside him.
How we couldn't got any more wrong.
Yeah, I actually think Barry 10 for that. I think it's almost perfect for him because I'd like to see him out the back, not necessarily last, but I just think when he ducked in sideways, it was only because Head of State's come outside him, and he's sort of gone, oh shit, who's that, and tried to get away. Whereas when he won his maiden, he just came from out the back and went past everything, put him away. Yeah. So I don't think he really wants to be out in front and have something come past him because it kind of spooked him. But I think third up out to the 2,000 metres, he'll be winning.
Yeah, put my name down for that selection too.
Bang.
I know. Baloo, fucking Queensland form going down. What do you reckon, Lloydy? Is he
I don't think she's
Battle of Hope?
I don't think she's a Group 1 2,000 metre horse, but then again, I don't think this race, like I said, is that quality.
I don't think she was the worst bet in the world each way. To be fair, like I don't think she can beat Profondo or Head of State. But
if we're talking about left wing X Factor form lines, it's the one, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I mean, 3 starts ago she was winning a Class 1 at Doomben over 1,200, and now she's in a Group 1 2,000 at Redwick. You know, like, and she's only won a Toowoomba Guineas.
Yeah. Startonte's form though, mate. Is this a bit of a? How long has the race been around? Because wouldn't this race make sense to say 2 weeks time? Because you've got the Caulfield Guineas, the 1,000 Guineas as the lead up to the 2,000. Wouldn't that make a bit more sense?
Same day as the Guineas.
Yeah.
I think the ideology of the race is that it's 3 weeks into the Derby, so you had 2,000 and 2,500 for those more staying types, but then you keep the 1,600 sort of for the Guineas horses. But why the Guineas? The Guineas could be a week earlier. You could have them 7 days into the Spring Champ and then into the Derby. But anyway. We won't step into.
We're too busy programming Queensland racing. Let's not go to Sydney just yet.
Let's fix that up first. We don't want to fuck around Peter V'landys.
We've still got a little bit to go. That's right. We've still got a little bit to go. All right.
We can get a racing.com hat, but
that's right. We're trying to change the game. That's all that matters. Eagle Farm, we're back. Okay, and we could have a bit of there's a few good ones I reckon in this race 4. A few that are coming back. The 3-year-olds, handicap conditions, cutest money on the line as well. Fetch is here. Fetch is back. So there was always a bit of spruik about Fetch, and we found it. We got some. The one time I reckon the overs gods have actually paid us dividends, which is huge. Stella Magic's pretty damn good too, though, from the same yard. Loves putting his horses against each other, I've noticed, that day hoisted, eh?
Yeah.
I guess when there's one race, you don't have a choice. But Tiger Heart, Princess Bojack, Glorious Ruby, even Winburn. They're all pretty good horses on their day.
Yeah.
Beam, talk us through race 4.
Yeah, there's a fair bit of ability in a few of these. I think it'll probably be a pretty good form race going forward.
Yeah.
To be fair, but I'm with Fetch. I think similar to Profondo. He did get the win in that first up run, but boy, he did even more wrong. I think, and then I think he took the gap. I think he shot up on the inside, had to take the gap in between horses, which 2-year-olds don't do. For the most part, like 90% of them don't. You get the 10% that do, and the 10% are normally pretty damn good. So, yeah, I think he just shoots through here. The query is probably the 1,000 meters. Might just be a little bit short, but I think he probably wins. Yeah.
Almost leads from barrier 1 as well.
He probably can go
I think
forward.
Glorious Ruby, Tiger Heart, they're probably the leaders though.
I'd be happy. I prefer him to take a sit, to be
Well,
honest,
I
because I think
think
he's got the
sit.
turn of foot. Yeah.
I think she's like being said, the 2-year-old win. That was actually against the older horses too.
Yeah.
So she's a 2-year-old against the older horses. Admittedly, grafted on a Thursday, but still.
But it was the way it was.
She won by
she won,
4.
not he. Yeah, it was pretty impressive. Yeah.
And Jaden she's gonna take 2 kilos off her back as well. So she's in there with 52 kilos. Spoke to Matt Hoysett a couple of months ago, and it was he was basically saying that the Magic Millions 3-year-old guineas is her main target this prep. So. I think the 1,000 meters after 2 decent good trials should have her ready to go first up.
Ready to go.
Yeah.
I'm on board as well.
We're lining
them up. But even I would argue that Tiger Heart probably has the best form lines coming into this race from last prep, and it's going to get 8 kilos off Tiger Heart just with Jados on board. So. I mean, if you're looking for a push, it's got nothing on its back. It might just fly the gates.
I think he'll be better.
Go.
He'll be better 14.
Well, Tiger Heart had a bit of I think it had a mishap onwards to a JJ Atkins last prep, so it obviously is going to want further than the 1,002. But that's why they pay some big bucks to tell you mugs what's going on in the world of Queensland racing, and we need some help here because race 5, we've had some crackers on the card, but they're sneaky at race Q. They've got to put one on here that's just a little bit of a. I mean, you got Youngblood, last start winner. Believe it or not, can we say that? $6 you're gonna get, which is not too bad. Sienna's Choice
give me
though.
600 to back it again.
Well, Sienna's Choice is going for 4 on the trot, and she's a $7.50 chance.
Yeah. That doesn't make sense.
As what Deep Seaver from the Heathcote Yard, they're your favourites being.
Yeah, look, I'm still with Aswat here again. I'm happy to forgive that run last start. It just had to do too much work. I think if you rewatch it, he had to come around the corner about 5 wide. And they were hunting it up like 600 from home. I mean, it was doing all like, I mean, it wasn't leading the other horses in and doing that donkey work, as they say, but geez, it did a shitload of work. It draws in barrier 4. Taylor's on again, should be just in behind. Second run over the 1800s, the fitness. I think it'll get the 1800 and probably even the 2000. I don't think that's a query. And I think the second run this trip, I reckon, I'm happy with 4. I'm getting 460 to find out.
Oof.
Yes, please.
Mate, well, Killer's jumped on Deep Seaver. What do you reckon, Nick? Is that the lead that you need in race 5 here?
If anything, it leads me to Aswat.
Right. Even better.
Year change.
Oh, can't wait for her to come on one day.
There's an old saying, a mare in form, and that's Sienna's Choice here. She's won 3 straight. At Metropolitan level, form around has been pretty good. 2 starts ago, she won here at Eagle Farm over 1400. Beat Palaszczuk and Jack the Lad, and Jack the Lad came out and won next start. And then
came from the trees of back Palaszczuk last week.
Yeah, didn't they just?
We nearly got there.
Nearly got there. But yeah, I think she'll relish getting out to 1800 meters, and like she's been winning well as well. Like not big margins, but 1.5 lengths last start, and just sort of sat off from barrier 6 with Jimmy Byrne on board. Pretty good bet at the 750.
Yeah, mate, I'm with you there too.
Probably should be favourite.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
I'm shocked it wasn't, but I'm sticking with Aswat. But yeah,
I thought she was closer to a $5 chance.
Well, and she's not drifted too much, but I think that 750 is an absolute gift. And Jimmy Byrne, he's been there, done it before. He knows. We talk about premierships, mate, and,
Yeah.
and winners and losers, but when the man wants to ride
He's the
winners,
mastermind.
he rides winners.
And he's
So-
been on it every run this prep too.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. All right, boys. We're nearly at the quaddie, which is where we come to our absolute peaks on this show. If you tune in for the first time, don't turn it off because it gets better.
It does improve.
Last week launched Supercoach and the 3 mugs. We've got and I don't have my scoreboard on here, but I know Lloydy does. But I think we've got about 60, 70 mugs in the comps that we're running. So we've got a decent little bit of a crew together. So from this week on, we'll start releasing sort of the aggregate scores, and you can sort of see where you are on the grand scheme of things. But Lloydy, I think you took the chocolates out of us three from the weeks.
Yeah.
Well, you were about to tell us that you did well. Put it that way.
Obviously.
But talk us some in-depth strategies, mate. Maybe for this week, because for those that haven't played before, it's a week-to-week stable.
Yep.
So Beans made this mistake multiple times that you thought you just picked your
I'm-
horses for the whole spring. But no.
I think I understood that you had to change them. I think it was I think it was my forgetfulness that caused the problem, and then I realised I need to change them at about 2 p.m. on a Saturday when it's all locked in and you can't change them anymore.
That's true.
Shit, I must remember for next week, and then I forgot again, and then by the end of it, I'm running 6,000 points behind the person running second last.
And that was me, and I'm running 6,000 points behind whoever was finishing first. So that's learn from our mistakes.
Yeah.
But Lloydy, this week, who's maybe your steal, or you just want to toot your own horn for 20 minutes?
Yeah, look, I think unlimited trades, so you get to have a play around, and obviously if you jag a few winners, you get a bit more money in your salary cap to spend up. But I've noticed this week the fact that we're in handicaps and sort of your main races, you got your guineas and your spring champion, they're 3-year-olds, so you got, they're all pretty cheap really, so you should be able to have a bit of a play around. Obviously, Zaaki, he's the favourite in a Group 1 race, so, you're getting 40 points if you win a Group 1, double that as your captain. He's your captain lock this week, and I think James McDonald, yet again, he's got 10 rides in Sydney and on about 5 favourites, so your jockey should be a pretty straightforward pick again this week with J-Mac, but yeah, look, you probably want to be targeting your Group 1 races. And
Is that how you do it? I mean, obviously they're the ones with the points. But,
See, asking.
I need some tips.
I mean, a race
That's
like,
what I did last week. Mine
But
just didn't win.
but that's
I had
where
Barry
the-
Elgin as the captain. That obviously went awry.
Yeah.
That's where the strategy comes in, Ben, because you got a race like Zaaki's race, for example.
Yeah.
Say if Homesman finishes second in a Group 1, could be worth more points than an absolute moral in a Group 3 that is a moral.
And that's
so
it.
you put your safety nets.
I originally sort of had I set my team for this round at the start of the week when nominations came out, just sort of have a bit of a play around, and I reckon with the likes of Zaaki in the Group 1, in the Underwood, the Caulfield Stakes, and then Elephant, I'm Thunderstruck, Enemo, Artorias, Profondo, like they're all right there. They're all cheap, but I reckon every man and his dog would have those same 6 gallopers. So might be worth playing around with the Group 2s and 3s and try and jag a little bit of I suppose point of differences.
Well, maybe we can lead the mugs into a Group 1 Guineas horse to throw in there, because there's 2 at the top of the markets, Artorias and Animo. They're no strangers to each other, no strangers to the punters. I think we're all still hurting from Animo a couple of weeks ago, and hurting even more from Artorias a couple of weeks before that. So they're not too high on my favourites list at the moment, but they're favourites in the market. Lloydy, do you have a steer for the mugs?
You know I do. We've got a run right down the bottom there. It was first emergency for a long while. Hitotsu for Kieran Murray and Dave Eustace. Brody, good friend of the show. We're both on at 100 to 1, I believe. So just to be alive in the race is a chance. But look, he's only had the 4 starts. One he's made at Donald last start, but he was sent around $1.30 favourite and was taken there for an easy kill to try and get a bit of prize money to get into the race. He won well. Actually, the horse that ran second that day, Commander Harry, came out and won very well the other day. So form sort of stacked up, but his first campaign ran 6th in the VRC size there. He ran home with the quickest final sectionals of that race over 1,400 metres. He always looked to have 1,600 written all over him. He has been 5 lengths by Artorias and ingratiating in the Blue Diamond. So he's been in and around the Group 1 scene already, and $26, you get $6 a place for him in a race that is realistically probably maybe a 2-horse race if you go by the market. So you're getting $6 to run third, $26 to win. I'm happy to be on.
Can you beat those odds, mate?
It's pretty close actually. I've sided with a bit of Brizzy form in Giannis. Massive overs here, I reckon. Second in the JJ Atkins behind Converge in the Winter Carnival up here. Comes through recently, a first up win in the listed Dulcify, beat home Tiger and Malay and Hinged, who goes down after Moz and I are on 0.3 of a length in the flight today. So we got a better steer.
Imagine what would happen if it led.
If we got a better steer, I reckon it probably
like it has in every race it's won.
Probably it wins,
Yeah.
but so you know, and that was over the 1600. It was flat in the Golden Rose second up, but to be honest, that track needs to be burnt to the effing ground. It was horrendous. I mean, the fact that Animo couldn't get past in the Congo, that says it all to me. They just weren't a chance if you were back and wide. So forget that. I'm happy to forgive second up. Waller's only runner in the race makes it a little bit easier. We're not going to get screwed by another one that's going to pop up a win. And $26 Brett Preble Barry at 6. Yeah, it's huge overs, I reckon.
Well, I've got another one that's at the huge overs as well. And if you run to form, Animo probably wins.
Yeah.
But we're not running to form. It's Caulfield Guineas. We had Mighty Boss win one year.
Yeah.
At 100 to 1.
Yeah.
Jeez. The Queenslander, man. Shuckers indeed. No, I've got the edge on top, and I legit thinks he's again a bit over the odds just with how the market's framed. But Barrier 5 going to get the run of the race.
Yep.
Hopefully he doesn't lead because I don't think that's his go, but he'll be 1 pair, 2 pairs back on pace. Caulfield, that tight turn, if he can get the gap at the right time. Well, look, he's going to be a long way in front of Animo and Artorias. And that's exactly what you want.
You're going to need to be all three of them, to be fair.
Because they'll have the boom turn afoot, but just whether they're too far back and need luck, that's why you just can't take that price about those two.
Yeah.
So
I reckon if Animo gets to $3 though, it's probably a bet. Like if he runs
it's a saver for sure.
Absolutely. Yep.
He's done it well. Second in the Blue Diamond. Artorias won a Blue Diamond here, so we can't really bag him at Caulfield, can we?
No.
What we can bag though, race 6 at Eagle Farm. Quaddy time, boys. Let's smash through because we've got a BM72, 1400. Your favourite lining up here, it's a pretty big field, but you've got the lethal combo, mate. The lethal Leah killer combo with Bobby Heathcote and Dane Zell. $4.80, but I missed one. Mr. Larrabee. Winx Colours comes to Queensland again. Lloydy, let's start with you, mate.
I'm reading out of Bean's hymn book here. Ryan Maloney Barrier 2 with El Pendorada. Not bad first up, over raced, and I don't know why she let it, tried to restrain it when clearly they were walking in front and he wanted to go faster, but I won't say her name, but she slaughtered it. So Ryan Maloney goes on and gets out in trip.
Definitely not coming on.
Yeah, definitely not. Gets to 1400 at Eagle Farm where he's had 3 goes at the track and trip for 2 wins. Second up, 3 starts, a win and a second, and his best form's all been at Eagle Farm. So El Pendorada on top for me. And I think he's the sort of horse, all of his wins, he's kind of been covered up, and then that late split comes and he bursts through. So Barrier 2, I want to see him. I'm happy if he's 3 pairs back the fence, they fan into the straight and he gets the run with 100 to go and gets out in time.
Taking on Bean for, mate?
No, I've done the similar thing again this week. I'm sticking with ones that I've had a bit of a crack at before. I'm back on the Dreamtimer train. I don't reckon it was that bad at T-Bar. I know it led and then sort of faded to finish 4th, but it did all the work out in front. I'm led round the corner, and I think it in the past has run better if it can take a bit of a sit. I'd prefer it not to lead, in all honesty. So KWT, if you're listening. Just getting.
I'm sure it would be.
I just want 1 pair back. I think.
Well, every other jockey listens for riding advice from us.
I think that's the place to be. Gets the claim. I think this is a more suitable trip as well over the 1400, and I think at the $17 or $19 and $4.40, $4.60 each way all day.
Yeah, boys, I'm going a bit of horses for courses here. Firebox on top for me. 27s we're getting, which I think's a bit of a wrong price. If you go through the form, Eagle Farm, Sunshine Coast, that's where this horse runs its best. Last 2 at Doomben, just must not be a Doomben horse. That's what we're coming to.
Yep.
Big Bad Jimmy Orman. I've stuck with my rule this week, actually. I didn't make note of it, but apprentices, You just haven't won me over the last few weeks, so I'm sticking with the senior jocks. And I'll tell you what, just going through every race, we must have like 3 senior jockeys in Queensland right now because there's about 15 apprentices every single race.
Yeah.
Is that a matter
I tell you what,
of...
they're riding winners though.
They're riding winners, great, but there's very good and very, very bad, but
there's not much of an in between.
I mean, it's a great opportunity for the apprentices to step up, or is it the seniors are just not getting the rides?
Well, a few of the seniors are out. If Benny Thompson,
but even like Steph Thornton, she's not
many rides.
She's not on too many, and I'd take her over an apprentice
every day
based on that.
Yeah, that's a pretty good point. Yeah.
Anyway, move on.
Yep.
Bit of value in race 6. We haven't. That's one to throw into the Mugs Quaddie.
Yeah.
Main event time up here in Queensland. And I'll tell you what, racing's just hotting up. It's spring carnival time. Of course it is.
Yeah.
We've got some big weeks coming up, Mug. So get on board with us. There's one here, Apache Chase, the Wheatwood winner. I reckon myself personally, probably you two as well, we've just underestimated how good this boy could potentially be.
Yeah,
Coming and beat up a lot of older horses there in the Wheatwood.
I think he might be very, very good actually after that last game.
I mean, we're getting $2.25 and it's onto a Golden Eagle potentially. So if he puts his field away, that's probably a pretty damn good price to get on for that kind of race because he's foolproof in the sense that he'll lead, he can absorb pressure. We saw that with Ayrton when he was up here. Like, is this
Golden
just the
Eagle,
obvious?
Though, he's going to need a dry track because if it's wet at all,
It's going to be a dry track, but that's the thing. If it's a dry track, you'd be happy to be on it, wouldn't you? Another one that they want to send down, Emerald Kingdom as well to Sydney. Yeah. Bobby Heathcote wants to get this 8-year-old now.
Falante Stakes, 7-year-old.
Yep.
Falante Stakes on Cox Plate Day, so 3 weeks' time.
So, look, I think the market's got it right.
Yep.
Lloydy, is it a race in 2? Have you found something a bit left field for us?
I think it's a race in 2, but I would honestly have them the other way around. I think Emerald Kingdom's pretty close to a good thing here. He beat Tafane in a Group 3 BRC sprint over the Winter Carnival, led all the way that day, and then ran 8th in the Stradbroke, carried 52, so goes up 6.5 kilos, but Apache Chase carried 50 that day. He goes up 8.5, meets Emerald Kingdom 2.5 kilos worse off, and has to sort of turn around a 2-length margin on Emerald Kingdom from the Stratty. And then we saw Emerald Kingdom come out and win at Eagle Farm pretty impressively on might have been the last day of the carnival there. So trial on when was that? When was the 5th? Wednesday or Tuesday?
At Deegan.
At Deegan, won by 8 lengths and was under a stranglehold. So I think barrier 8, my good friend Leah Kilmer should just go to the front on him from the outside alley, and I think he'd be too sharp for him fresh, but certainly not knocking.
Does it stalk or does it take Apache Chase on?
I think it leads.
I think it leads.
I think Apache Chase tries to play the stalking role, and I just don't think it'll get there in time.
Okay.
I've gone the other way. Apache Chase for me on top. That is in my notes, so I was a bit concerned whether they both take each other on.
They're the only two speed.
And then I scroll down and snitch lobs at 20.
Yeah, jeez.
The day you jump off.
I'd probably lock my head off then. I think if Flash Eye does get up though, I'm done. That's me out. But Apache Chase for me, I just thought it's super impressive. I mean, like you've said, they both ran pretty well. To be fair, in the Stradbroke, I mean, they're both well above average for Queensland gallopers. So, perhaps with the weight swing, prices maybe could be a little bit closer in the market. But I'm 220 Apache Chase for me.
Yeah, our Playboy is just too hot and cold.
Yeah,
I mean, there was Sydney as well. It'll go to the Silver Eagle.
Oh,
but it also needs a wet track too. Look, it's 9 stars on a dry for 0 placing, 0 wins.
Yeah, I just remember the good mail up here during the Winter Carnival for our Playboy, and I'm still reading that mail. Yeah, Apache Chase, I'm with you, Bean. I don't know. I think it's just too one-dimensional. It's got to lead. It's got to dictate, and Jimmy Byrne knows that. Does it? End of story.
Yeah.
Could Quinella play? You could probably say.
I think they'll
so. You could have the same race multi with our good friends at Sportsbet, have them both run top 3.
You definitely could.
That'd be good. Yeah, that's a good play.
Well, you probably get about $1.30 for that, and we can probably multi that into $1.28 chance down in Melbourne. So. Just how good is Zaaki?
You don't have to ask me. Very good.
Very good.
Very good.
How good's Zaaki been?
Yeah.
The drink's shit, but the horse is good.
Yeah, he's real good, isn't he? He's just wins again. I think it's almost Winks-esque at the moment. It's he's just miles better
Put
than
them together, isn't he?
miles better than the average, and
Again.
I was going to say
I don't think we got more to say.
I was going to say the bookies should pay you out if you backed him in the Cox plate already, but they already have.
They already did.
Well,
it's actually scary. I've literally not seen I mean, I know I've only been following since I was about 23, but I've not seen a year where there's just two
dominant horses, really.
super dominant horses that are going into both the Caulfield Cup prep and Cox Plate prep that just look so much locks that it's just actually
it's sort of
it's
you're gonna get $2 for the multi. Really.
I only threw them in. Like I only put on. I put on that multi with all those booster legs, which Touchwood's still live, and that wasn't that long ago, and that was Incentivize at $5 and Zaaki at $2.87, and that is long. That is long gone.
Yeah.
But again, we touched on it last week. We'll come back to our maths, mate, and my maths is probably wrong, but you're looking at the probability of winning. The $1.26, shows what a 80% chance of winning. So if you're going 80 out of 100 times,
who are winning?
nothing beats this thing on the other 20.
No.
Like
I can't for the life of me work out how probable after getting beat 2 lengths. Okay, yeah, she stuck on well and she's a quality mare, but
650s.
$6.50 when he's $1.26, he should be $1.10.
Yeah, 100%. Overs. We're declaring it, Mugs. Zaaki is overs.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I sound feel like I sound pretty smart after that declaration. So, we'll move on. We got the main event in Queensland here. Haven't skipped one, have we? Race 7? No, we went over that. It was a pretty ordinary race. That was a good race, actually. But this is the real main event, the Queensland Cup. So if you get your Melbourne Cups, get your Caulfield Cups. Queensland Cup is the one that the people want to win. And we've got the people's horse, Top Orders, back for run number 74 of this campaign. $9.50 you're getting for Queensland's greatest form line, but Honourable Spirit comes through that form line too, so there's a bit of argy-bargy there. Navy Cross, I think at the Eagle Farm could be the concern, but put it together last start.
I'm dead.
It's one of those
It
fields
won
though.
Last start, I'm ready to throw it in the sea already. That horse was just a tilt.
Well, if you're getting back in the sea, mate, Luna Sit might climb off this boat, into the boat, come back to Eagle Farm and run a bolter at the $8, which is what you're getting for Luna Snit. Lloydy, they're the top 4 in the market.
Yep.
Is there any sniff elsewhere?
Well, there's one that comes out of the Toowoomba Cup as well. I'm not saying I've tipped it, but we might get a bit of a push for it. Ran 6th last start. The Chocolatier for Corey and Kylie Gerran, good friend of the show, KO Racing owns. And a bit of a backstory on Kobe, because the first horse I ever owned a share in was a horse called Froze, raced in the KO colours, and first starters sort of his KO racing journey began was a Middlemount maiden about 2 hours west of Rocky, back on I think maybe the 3rd or 4th of August 2019 I think it was, and now he's got his first runner in a listed race, so he's pumped, the big man. He's got a great group of owners, and
Fortunately, you're not one of them.
I'm not one of them in this one. Mine won at Twin Hills last week, but I'm not in it anymore. But look, he's buzzing, the big fella. So have a listen to what Mr. O'Brien has to say about Chocolatier in the listed Queensland Cup.
So we've got Chocolatier in the Queensland Cup over 2400 at Eagle Farm on Saturday. He comes out of what I thought was a really good run in the Toowoomba Cup. Jackson sort of got off him and said he gives a feel that he wants further now. He's only sort of getting warmed up late. I think he's just going to he should get a nice sit in behind Sir Gunson and Navy Cross. I think Navy Cross is a leader and the other horse there will push up with him. But if we can sort of sit just in behind them, going off his work this week and how much he's improved with every run, I think he's a good place chance. But he beat home. He runs away in the Toowoomba Cup, and obviously he just couldn't sprint with Honourable Spirit, who is untried at the distance as well. So it's just a bit of a watch there, but really looking forward to it.
Little Spirit, good fella. Good luck to him.
Yep. And the owners.
And even another backstory on this horse. I believe it used to be a the red syndicate. It was a syndicated horse, one of the big companies. I believe the Pappenhausen was involved with this one. Dynamic, that's the one.
Right, Pappenhausen.
I'll have to give him a buzz, see if he's still involved. Well, who wins, Lloydy?
Another person having their first crack at listed level is a good friend of the show as well, Jaden Lloyd.
Too many mates on the show.
Right. But yeah, he's on honourable spirit, and I think he can go 1 from 1 in the black type racing for the Gov Junior here. The horse is flying. I think he's won 4 out of his past 7, runs second in another 2 of those, and second in the Toowoomba Cup last start off the back of a 5.5 length win. He's had the 2 weeks this time between runs. I think he gets out to the 2400, which will suit. And drawn the marble, I think he just box seats behind Navy Cross, who's drawn the car park and just goes through the gap early. And but admittedly, he does meet top order. I think.
Couple of kilos worse at the waist, mate.
Worse at the weights, but I think this extra 400 or the extra 200 metres in trip result would have changed anyway that day. So happy to be with the favourites.
Yeah, best of the day, I reckon. Honourable spirit, I reckon it wins. Yeah. I'm pretty bullish about a couple this weekend. I think there could be a few multis getting involved with some of my comments, but
well,
happy with honourable spirit.
Let me just tell you both,
as
a mate first and a mug second, have a saver on top order, because you will never hear the end of it if top order wins. So it's not for your own financial gain. No. It's purely so you don't have to listen to me carry on for the next 4
we
or 5
backed
it. Yeah. Thanks for the hot tip. Rah. I think it wins. Mate, we're going to cross to the mug of the week. It's back. So we've had a bit of an unlucky run the last couple of weeks, but we got Dan on the line from On the Drift Potty. So we're actually going to do a little bit of a spring spruik special to these lads. They touch on the Group 1s every week. So I told him, give us a little bit of juice with your mug of the week selection. So $50 on. Here's what he had to say.
G'day Mugs, thanks for having me as your mug of the week. Unfortunately for your loyal listeners, I'm not sure I'll be able to direct you into any winners because units are falling out of my pockets left, right and centre lately. So it's pretty hard yak for me at the moment, but we persevere. We'll turn it around eventually, hopefully. One thing that you boys do really well is, you recognise when the Queensland form has actually come true. And I think I've found one that is pretty relevant for. And I want you to go to your form guides. I want you to go to Caulfield. I want you to go to race 6. I want you to go to number 2, Zaaki. He had some brilliant Queensland form. Obviously, I'm joking. I'm not tipping $1.20 pop here. That's not what I'm about. But I have found something at a bit more juice later in the program. I want you to go to the Herbert Power race 10 in the last at Caulfield. Number 2, King of Leogrance. I think this horse has a sneaky shot here at about the $20 on offer. I think he's a cracking bet. Sneaky good second up profile. I wouldn't really be worried at him going to the 2400 second up. The stable, Team Williams, always has him fit, ready to go second up. Nick Williams tweeted during the week that he was furious that this race was so late in the day, which says to me, because they want to take him to the Caulfield Cup next week, says to me that they're going to have a lot of intent with this run from this horse. So I'm more than willing to take the $20 on offer wherever you're betting. And I think he looks a cracking bet. He beat home Young Werter last start and he ran a very handy second in the Turnbull behind Incentivize. So I think that is a cracking play. But obviously gamble responsibly, but all the best. Thanks for having me on, and hopefully you find a few winners. Hooroo.
20s times 50s for the King could be a nice little donation to the charity. So again, like I said before, we might need to have a $5 bet on the King just so that we're not too broke. But Dan, thanks again. We'll be watch your space mugs for some good work with some good lads there on the Drift Potty. But before we do that, we need to get out. Well, we don't need to. We just need to get in front even more for the day.
That's right.
And there's no better way to do it than the last at Eagle Farm. Bean, just tell me who wins. We'll keep it short and sweet.
She's a boss, mate. There's plenty of speed in this race. She's a what?
I said you've been reading the Sportsbet form guide. They got it best value too.
Do they?
Yeah.
No, I have. I
Who
don't,
do you think does the form guide for her, mate?
Yeah, exactly. She's had more trials than I've had packed lunches since the 16th of August. I think she's.
Still recording. All right, we'll keep this in. Go.
Well, she's had more trials than I've had packed lunches since the 16th of August. I think it's been about 4 trials or something like that. The first up record's a bit of a query, but I mean, the fitness with all those runs under the belt shouldn't be too much of a problem. Loves Eagle Farm. I think that was the big push for me. She really relishes this track. She's just not a Doomben horse. It's just Doomben put a line through her. Will be off them, runs on late. You got Full Nelson, Boom Spender, In Gear. They should all sort of go forward. Claimer Engage, I reckon, goes pretty close at $11 from barrier 7. Gov Jr. on board. Tick Jaden Lloyd for a big day for the Bean Dog.
Yeah.
Christmas card for Jados.
Yep.
Yeah. Boys, I started with the first horse in the race book. I'm going to finish it with the last horse in the race book. Race 9, number 9, In Gear for Mr. Golan and Steph Morton. I think my horse might have turned a corner after winning pretty well first up, really. They scratched last Saturday, I think it was, or the one before that, to go around here. Ryan Lloydy, he does jump off, but I think it would be more so the fact that he probably can't ride at 54 kilos. So Steph and Tony have got a pretty good combo going at the moment. They've combined for quite a few winners, and I think TJ sort of referenced a few times it's their soft hands that tends to be able to get the horses to relax in front. So.
All right, we'll move on from that very quickly. We've already got a few female jockeys that don't like us very much. Now I'm with you, mate. I think In Gear is best of the day territory for myself. They've just looked after this fella for placement. Doesn't like a wet track. They're not even going to bother with that. Wide draw, doesn't like that. Just needs to go forward and get the job done.
Goes very well here too.
Well, I'll just carry that in because that's Moz's must-have. The mugs want to hear our best of the day. In Gear, race 9, get out stakes being $2.50, $2.70 if you boost it. Get on it now. Around the grounds, race 2 at Caulfield. It's a big day at Caulfield, full stop. And I think there's a few fans out here that I might offend, but there's a horse named Buffalo River in race number 2.
Are you reading my notes before I start?
Okay. Well,
you're
look,
kidding me, aren't you?
Really makes 3 of us.
Well, I'll just. I think the reason that we're all excited because it's probably D-Day for this horse.
Yeah. If it doesn't win here, he's gone.
It's not going to get conditions to suit any more that I've ever seen. It's the only pace in the race. It's had Spruik on it forever and a day. Oliver's on board. It loves Caulfield. Gets the conditions to suit.
I also don't think there's much else in the race that looked like it could knock it off.
I mean, I backed it in the Sir Rupert Clark at Group 1 level, and it's back to this now. So it was nearly going to beat my round grounds tip too.
Speaking of Turak handicap tips.
Oh yeah, we're doing that, aren't we?
Yeah.
Just give us a tip.
What have you got there, Lloydy?
With Elephant, I think he'd get his trunk out on the line and fend off the fast finishing I'm Thunderstruck.
Yep, faster finishing. For me, I'm Thunderstruck.
I thought, is Tofane been missed in that one race? It's $11. It's not run poorly. It's third up. It's run third in a Group 1 Memsey, 4th in the Maccabi Diva behind Incentivize and Mwanga. I just was kind of like, I thought it's only had first go at the mile last start, second go at the mile here, so it's probably going to be better for the run. $11. I thought it was overs. I know I'm Thunderstruck was super impressive in that run.
Love Stefane all of a sudden.
Stefane, can we play the
I'm as big as
Tofane.
It's better.
Speaking of non-winners, this one is dead set data.
That's right. We'll get that back up.
I'm getting shirts made up.
Is that your around the grounds as well? Then we'll go to that.
I can make that my around the grounds. Yeah, because I reckon it's overs. Yep.
Well, same colours, mate.
Let's go again.
Yep. Could be just the same horse, to be honest. Best at Eagle Farm, mate.
Honourable Spirit, mate, in the Queensland Cup. I think it's just a mile better than them.
Best of the day for me at Eagle Farm, race 4. Horse 6, sticking with what works. Jaden Lloyd, Steve O'Day, Matt Hoysted, proven thoroughbreds. So Fetch on top for me. I think she returns a winner on Saturday and remains unbeaten. Around the grounds, we're going to Caulfield as well. You got Zaaki in race 6 in the Caulfield Stakes. That's the first of the Group 1s. Then you got a little bit of a Group 1 break in race 7. You got the Northwood Plume, and I think the Blue Cap of Taylor, James Cummings, Damien Oliver. She's quality filly. She She was good last start at Campbell, ran 6th, beaten 3 lengths, but she got a long way out of her comfort zone. She got back, which we don't usually see. Flashed late up on the fence, and I'm surprised we're getting $4.80. She should be a favourite.
Could be, well, Palel or Taylor.
Yeah, I don't
Everest.
think Taylor will be there Everest slot. I think Pulele goes around on Saturday. I think it'll be the one. I think if Palele wins,
they're not going to go. They're not going to go with trekking again, are they?
No,
I think
apparently
if Palele wins, I think he gets the slot. If he loses, Trekking gets the slot. That's how I reckon it'll go.
Yeah,
That's
because
reading between the lines. It's between those two.
Well, I think Trekking probably has that Manicato maybe at the Mercy as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, but yeah, that's
Just a ripper day's racing, lads.
It is.
So, Mugs, good luck out there. You won't need it because you followed us into 9 winners, but
plus
start
the
taking notice. This is it. This is the time of year. Everest coming up, Caulfield Cup coming up, Cox Plate, you name it,
That's
it's coming up. Get excited. Boom.
boom. Yep. Good luck. Yeah,
Can't wait to get into it.
that's right. Stick the teeth in.
Thanks, Mugs.
End it now.